So, Rory Stewart, you were named GQ Politician of the Year, and then in the same week you had the whip withdrawn from the Conservative Party. How did it come to that?
Well, it was an amazing moment. It's a great honour to get the award. But one of the things I feel very strongly is that a No Deal Brexit would be very deeply damaging and unnecessary. So I voted to block a No Deal Brexit. And then, somewhat to my surprise, although traditionally members of Parliament are able to vote with their consciences, in this case, the Prime Minister responded by throwing me out of the party.
There were warnings, though.
Yeah, 45 minutes before I voted, I got a text saying that if I did the vote, I'd be thrown out. But the only formal confirmation we got from the whips was 45 minutes before the vote, that that's what they would do. And I'd had a conversation with Boris in July when he was taking over as leader, where I said, look, I'm against the No Deal Brexit. You know that I'll vote against the No Deal Brexit. So, of course, I can't serve in your cabinet. And that's the normal convention, that you can't be in the government if you're against the policy, but you can remain in Parliament. Yeah.
So do you hold it against Boris?
I do. I suppose I think it's a dangerous constitutional precedent, because I think that there's not much point in Parliament if it can't occasionally vote against the government. If the centre has the power to insist that the MPs always vote with the government, what's the point of Parliament?
Some of your colleagues who had the whip withdrawn have joined other parties. You've said Rory's a Tory.
Yeah.
On what conditions would you rejoin the Tory party?
I would need a pretty astonishing apology from Boris and a pretty clear explanation of why he's not trying to turn the party into the Brexit party, and a very clear explanation of what kind of home he really has for somebody like me within the party.
And under a different leader?
I mean, look, I am a Conservative. I'm Conservative because I believe in individual rights, limited government, prudence at home and abroad, all these kind of things. But to return to a relationship, you need to get a very clear sense, if somebody's just thrown you out, that they've truly changed before you walk in through the door again.
And that's not forthcoming?
No. I mean, effectively, I'm sitting in the garden shed at the bottom of the garden, and to get back into that house, you'd have to believe that your partner really wanted you, and they'd have to explain what you were going to do together in the future.
How would you have changed the party had you won the leadership election?
It made us a party of the centre ground. I would have said it's crazy to have a politics divided between Nigel Farage and Corbyn, and that what we need to do is to argue for bringing people together, not dividing them.
And what would you have done differently looking back at those successive rounds of ballots in Parliament that you almost got through to the final round?
I would have been much more punchy in the BBC debate against Boris. In a sense, because I'm Conservative, I felt loyal towards my party. I didn't want to upset colleagues. I was convinced not to go blue on blue. Everybody said, take it easy, we've got to hold the party together, don't attack Boris. Actually, I would have done much better going big or going home and really going after him in that debate.
You've reached such level of public consciousness partly through your direct posting of videos around the country on Twitter. It's a tactic that Boris seems to pick up on in office, doing people's Prime Minister's questions. Trump does a lot of them as well. Do you think there's a danger in politicians directly posting videos online?
Well, I think for me, we have to be Trumpian anti-Trumps. We have to take the techniques of the populists and use it to advocate for the centre ground. If I ceded social media to the extremes, then we're in real trouble.
Do you think there's an incongruence, perhaps, between your very polite, mannered public persona and some aspects of your voting record within Parliament?
My voting record is the voting record of a Conservative. So it's exactly the same as any other Conservative government minister. So people who voted against the Conservative Party and against the Conservative Manifesto would be deeply against the way that I voted. I felt that I stood on a Conservative manifesto and that it was my obligation to my voters to fulfill that. And when I rebelled on a No Deal Brexit, I rebelled because I felt that I stood on a manifesto for an orderly departure from the European Union, not for this. So you're absolutely right. If you come from the Corbyn left, you would feel that many of the things I voted for are things that you deeply disagree with.
And will you be standing as an independent in the next election?
I'm still thinking about my options.
Have you had offers from other parties?
Other parties have tried to talk to me, but I don't talk to them. I'm not very keen on standing with another party.
Would you rather have a confirmatory referendum under a Corbyn government or proceed along the grounds that we seem to be going along with an automatic no deal?
Well, what we've just proved is that's a completely false choice. I mean, everyone's been trying to do that to me for 6 months now. Would you like Corbyn or would you like No Deal? And I keep saying, you don't need either. You can prevent No Deal through Parliament. That's what I just did. That's what I just sacrificed my seat in Parliament to prove. That you don't need to choose Corbyn to stop a No Deal government.
And do you think you have the support within your constituency to succeed without the official backing of your party?
It'll be very tough. I mean, if you look at the polling, I might just make it, I might not. I'd probably be within about 1,000 votes.
Good luck.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your time.
For more debates, talks and interviews, subscribe today to the Institute of Art and Ideas at IAI TV.